Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx, and today we're gonna start Kansei, the second turn, which is the sequel to Kansei. After which I'm not really happy because it came out that Kansei was also working for one of the companies probably. She was looking for the USB drive, but luckily police have it because we catched Bergstrom, who killed the woman, Sarah, and she left her fingernail in the trash can, and there was also blood, and luckily we got it. Okay, no more talking about that. Let's go with Kansei. This thing is impossible.
A tangram isn't that hard. You're just not thinking about it right.
Oh yeah? So how exactly am I supposed to think about it?
You need to be more flexible. You should be open to the idea that what looks like one thing might just be a small part of something completely different. The outside shape doesn't always give you a good idea of what's inside.
You mean like how my little tiny little sister is such a huge genius?
Just like that.
Who on earth invented this thing anyway? It's such a weird puzzle.
Well, I think that according to legend, the tangram happened when someone dropped a square tile and it broke into 7 pieces. When he tried to put them back together, he discovered that he could shape it into many different things.
So basically, we're having fun at the expense of some poor guy who broke his tile.
Well, if it weren't for that, wouldn't the tile just be a boring tile like all the other tiles? But because of what happened, it's now a famous puzzle that's been seen across the world. Sometimes, in order to find a greater purpose, you have to be broken first.
Broken, huh? I think I'm happy just being a boring old tile that no one will ever notice.
I don't think we get the luxury of choosing what happens to us.
You don't think we get to decide our future?
I never said that. We don't get to decide what happens to us, but we can always decide how to respond to it.
You know, you sure think about a lot of deep stuff for a 14-year-old. I thought girls your age were supposed to be into cute guys or nail polish.
That's a stereotype, and you know it.
But I'm not allowed to tease you. Besides, I'm sure you'll start thinking about a boy one day, and when that day comes, you better make sure he gets my approval first. I don't want to lose my sister to some punk kid who's no good.
Stop choking! I told you, I'm not interested in that sort of thing. Don't worry, you're not going to lose me anytime soon.
I don't like that picture. Where am I? I open my eyes slowly and take in my surroundings. Coffee table, books, computer. Looks like a pretty average apartment. Something feels off, too.
Good morning.
Right. It's not an apartment, it's a prison. All thanks to me sticking my nose into a murder yesterday.
I hope you slept well.
Why do you care? Aki sits beside me on the couch.
You're our guest after all.
Except for the part where I don't want to be here.
Well, there's not
I
much
would
I can
like
do
to
about
be there,
that.
actually.
You have to admit it's a lot nicer than police custody, though.
I don't see why Detective Gursky thought it was necessary to detain me anyway. Already solved the murder yesterday. The murderer even confessed.
Confessions can be recanted. It's best to have the most solid case possible in situations like this.
What about Naoki? He was there. Why not use him?
I'm sure they'll use my brother too, but the fact remains that you're the one who solved the case. That makes you the strongest witness they have.
I rolled my eyes. Whatever. There's plenty of painfully obvious evidence at this scene already. You hardly need me.
You'd be surprised what expensive lawyers are capable of doing. We need the most airtight case possible. Miko might seem like a relaxed guy, but he's thorough.
Miko? You mean Detective Gursky?
Yeah, Miko Lajgursky.
You seem awfully familiar with him.
You think so?
Her expression breaks into wide grin. I can only assume there is a story here that she's not telling me.
Anyway, you should thank me for convincing him to let you stay with us. With us, you get a nice bed, good food, and...
Aki, I got the coffee!
Naoki opens the door to the apartment, triumphantly holding up a cup of coffee.
coffee.
Naoki stumbles as he enters, grasping at the air in an attempt to catch himself. A young girl with pale skin and white hair appears on the hallway and reaches out, calmly lifting the coffee cup from his outstretched hand as he falls forward. She steps to the side as Naoki goes crashing to the ground. The girl gazes placidly at Naoki lying on the floor.
Be careful.
Ow.
So that's that type you have in animes. White hair and super calm voice. I love that. I love characters like that.
Ooh, nice save.
The young girl nods and hands the cup of coffee to me before disappearing back into the hallway. Who was that?
That's Li Mei.
I saw her yesterday, but she just kinda nodded at me and walked off. Naoki stands and drops his head ruefully.
That's Li Mei for you.
She's a quiet child. Quiet child. Quiet?
What?
Anyway, there's too much going on in her head, so it's a little hard on her to maintain conversations.
What? She's like a genius kid or something? Naoki and Aki exchange glances. What did I say?
Not exactly. It's a little more complicated than that.
Why don't we talk about it on the way there?
There? Where are we going?
To speak with our client, of course.
It doesn't take long for us to leave Edgewater. I gaze sleepily out the car window and struggle to sit up straight in my seat. It's still early morning, and the city is only faintly outlined against the pale sky. I take a few sips of my coffee before dozing off completely. What? The cityscape outside the car has transformed into a country scene. I vaguely remember passing the big city, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep after that. Typical. I gaze at the rolling countrysides as it passes by. All I see are clusters of trees with telephone poles dotting the side of the road. Aki's driving is surprisingly sedated. Considering her personality, I expected a lot more road rage. She seems content to chug along slightly below the speed limit, even though the road is perfectly straight and no other cars are in sight. I feel like we are creeping along at an incredible slow pace. I guess this is why we had to leave early. At least I get to sit in the front, glancing in the back seat. I see Naoki dozing, his head resting on his chest. Li Mei is awake, but she's staring blankly out the window.
Glad you're awake. Did you enjoy your sleep?
No, not particularly. The seat feels clumpy, and now my neck hurts. Aki laughs and shakes her head.
At least you're honest. Should we have gotten you something stronger than a triple shot?
No, it's not your fault. It will kick in soon enough. I look out the window again, trying to focus on the scenery. It looks like we're far away from the city by now. And the reason we had to leave so early?
We have a long way to go to meet with our client, and he's the sort of guy who will get very fussy if we're late.
Where are we going, anyway? What are we supposed to be doing? Who's the client you're talking about? Wait, you said you were going to tell me about Li Mei, didn't you?
You're overflowing with questions. I suppose I can't blame you. You're not the only one with questions, though. In fact, you're a pretty big question mark yourself. Let's make a deal, shall we? You ask a question, then I ask a question. We'll trade answers.
I guess that works. Who are you people anyway? Where are we going? Let's go. Who are you people anyway? You work for high-profile corporations like Auto and Engineering. The police seem to trust you almost unconditionally. But you just look like a bunch of kids. Lucky bears of something.
You're a kid too, aren't you?
Yeah, well...
We're a special investigation agency. Our work isn't always as exciting as corporate espionage and murder. More often than not, we're just snapping photos of cheating lovers.
That's unexpected for me.
As for why the police trust us, that's sort of a weird story. That's for another question, though. Okay, my turn. What's your name?
He doesn't like that question. I was hoping you wouldn't ask that.
You do realize how suspicious it makes you look when you hide it, right?
It's complicated.
Things are only as complicated as you want them to be, but I respect your privacy.
The girl who can insert thoughts into my head whenever she wants respects my privacy. Ironic.
We're going to have to call you something, though. Is Kansei okay?
Kansei?
Roughly translated, it means strong emotions. It's sort of a play on Kansei.
Is that supposed to mean something to me?
We call the ability to feel other people's emotions Kansei. It's like a super sensitivity. Since you have a type of Kansei, we can call you Kansei. Kan-gai. Get it?
Why? Well, I don't know why she's doing that. But I think it doesn't sound bad. Yeah, why it's stupid. Come on, Kansei doesn't sound so bad.
I never claimed to be good at picking names.
Try to think of something else, please.
I'll see what I can do.
I lean back in my seat and adjust myself, attempting to get comfortable. Is there any reason your car is so tiny?
Is that your next question?
No, I'm just saying that there's not much space here.
Li Mei never complained about it.
Well, Li Mei is tiny. Oh yeah, what's the deal with her anyway?
Now that's definitely a new question.
Right. Yeah, let's go with that. What's the deal with her? Earlier you said there was a lot of going on in her head.
All of us have a sort of Kansei like you do. We can all sense thoughts and feelings to some extent.
And?
Li Mei's Kansei is probably the purest form of them all. She experiences the emotions of everyone around her.
You're kidding, right? Everyone?
Everyone. If you're happy, she's happy. If you're sad, she's sad. Everyone else's emotions are constantly streaming into her mind.
That's...
She has to
weird.
spend a lot of her energy sorting out which feelings are hers and which aren't.
I turn to look at Li Mei. Her eyes are open and her body is unmoving as she stares straight out the car window. Her mind must be a mess. I wonder if she can feel my pity for her. Can she even tell that it's me, or is it all mixed up inside of her? Oh man, should I even be feeling this way? If she can sense it, it's probably really the meaning to her that I'm feeling bad for her. I don't want her to think that I think of her as a poor little kid or something. I'm desperate to try to conjure up another emotion to squelch my current mood. but my mind is completely blank. For a brief moment, Li Mei glances at me from the corner of her eye. She nods slowly, almost imperceptibly, but I think she's trying to tell me she's okay.
Alright, next question. Where are you from anyway?
Los Angeles?
I'd rather you don't lie about it.
What?
Miko told me about it. Yesterday you told him that you were from LA, but when he asked you about precincts, you didn't correct him. In Los Angeles, police work districts, not precincts.
Fool.
I'm surprised he didn't cuff you on the spot for lying to him. Actually, no, I'm not.
I turned my gaze back to the scenery outside, unsure of how to answer. Detective Gursky knew I was lying yesterday. Why did he let me get away with it? Did he recognize me? I don't remember him, though. I've been living in Los Angeles for the past 3 years. Isn't that good enough?
And before that?
Only one question at a time, remember? Aki raises an eyebrow.
Of course. Go ahead.
Okay. What did you have to do to get the police to trust you?
We stopped the assassination of a visiting dignitary.
You what?
Everyone makes a big deal about it, but it was sort of a fluke. Naoki was trailing a businessman and secretary who were putting in extra hours at an expensive hotel.
Okay. And?
He saw the assassin, thought it was suspicious, and called me in. We intercepted the assassin, saved the day, and apparently that makes us trustworthy heroes.
Seriously?
Seriously.
You'll forgive me if I find it hard to believe. A story like that is ridiculous.
So, you're the boy with a Kansei that allows you to experience the final moments of any dead body you touch. You should be used to the ridiculous by now.
I guess she has a point there. It still doesn't sound like a real story, though.
My turn now.
Aki grins.
Where did you live before Los Angeles?
Somehow I knew you were going to ask that.
Oh, am I really that predictable? I'm not going to answer.
Edgewater.
What?
I used to live here, in Edgewater.
Here.
Aki sounds surprised.
3 years. I suppose that makes sense. We've only been here for 2 years.
She glances at me out of the corner of her eye. I'm sure she wants to ask more, but for once, she doesn't press the issue.
Well, I guess that was my question. Your turn.
I have only one. Where are we going?
A small estate out in the countryside. It belongs to one Mr. William Otten.
Otten? As in hotel engineering?
Got it in one.
So he's the guy who hired you to drug Sarah Blackmore because she was stealing information from him?
Yep. Well, until she was murdered, that is.
Yeah, there is that.
We reported to him yesterday about what happened.
You mean about how Miss Bergstrom hired Sarah to steal from him?
That and the fact that Miss Bergstrom claimed a third party was also interested in the information. He didn't sound too happy about that, so he ordered us to come see him today and give a full report in person.
Well, that's a little demanding.
I can't blame him. His entire company's at stake here. I hope you don't mind coming with us. Since you were there yesterday, it seems only natural to bring you along.
Yeah, I get it. I'm sure the real reason she's taking me along is because she promised Detective Gursky that she'd keep an eye on me. But I guess I don't mind talking to this Otten guy. It's not like I had any plans for the day, anyway, and it might be interesting to see the house of a millionaire. Why does Mr. Otten live so far out of the way, anyway? Considering that his company is in the middle of Edgewater, wouldn't it make more sense not to live a gazillion miles from that place?
Who knows? Word is that he really hates the city. His assistant said that he rarely leaves his house, conducting most meetings via satellite.
Weird. His entire company is built on cutting-edge technology, but he doesn't want to live around a couple stovelights? Aki shrugs.
Rich people are eccentric. Comes with a job description, I think.
Sounds more like paranoia to me.
Maybe it is.
You missed it.
I jump a little as Li Mei speaks up from the backseat. She's been silent for so long, I almost forgot she was there. Li Mei is pointing at the small side road that we just passed.
Oops!
He gives the steering wheel a tight spin and the car's tires scratch as the car spins in the road.
What?
Ow!
Now he jerks away as his head bumps against the window he was using for a headrest.
Sorry, missed the turn.
He rubs his head slowly.
Yeah, I noticed.
Once fall on the floor
guess
and
we're
now
almost
hit the window.
Yep, just a few minutes now. Anyway, what were we talking about? Right, Mr. Otten. He's one of those self-made men you hear about all the time, built Otten Engineering himself from the ground up. But he's also ridiculously secretive. No interviews, hardly any TV appearances. His assistant Sophia Millerson does most of that.
The car slows to stop as we approach Mr. Otten's house. I squint out the window to get a better look at it. It looks like a big white box sitting in the middle of nowhere. Okay, let's finish this episode. I guess for the beginning it's long enough. Maybe even a little too long. However, it will stay like that. Hopefully you enjoy it, and see you in the next one, because there might be some action.